Wait, let me retweet it. Is it also Yoni de Pretzel?
Yeah, Yoni the Pretzel. No, it's Yoni
Yoni de
Pretzel. Actually, it's my real name. שם האמיתי שלי, כאילו.
Sima Mitisli.
שם האמיתי שלי, אתה מבין? בטוויטר אני ארס, כאילו, אתה מבין? באינסטגרם, אתה יודע, אני ילד, בטוויטר אני, וואלה, אני מחבל אני.
So, how's it going, man? Good to finally talk. Good to finally meet.
Yeah, honestly, it's good to finally meet you too, bro. I'm a fan of your work 'cause I like what you do. Like you're like a cool guy, but you're also like a nerd at the same time. You know what I mean? Like you
Thank
have
you.
like
I don't know what that
interests.
means, but thank you.
Like it's in the best way possible. Like you have like interests. You're into fucking history. You show people things. You have knowledge. You know. But you're
Yeah.
also like you have a good personality. Like you're funny as fuck. So I fuck with your content. So I wanted
Thank
to.
you, bro. I
Yeah.
appreciate that a lot. I also think you're funny as fuck, and I love what you do as well. And I can tell like you definitely love getting reactions out of people, both like Jews and pro Palestinians, and I live for it because I love that shit. Like I saw you recently, which is funny as hell. You were on a YouTube channel with
Mm-hmm.
this Arab Palestinian guy
I'm not
that
Shaiv.
Anas and we go back. I don't know if he talked to you about me, but
He
me
did
and him go.
actually.
Yeah, we've got a very. I'll tell you some stuff in private after, but I was like, I went on his YouTube channel. I was trolling him. I was like, Yoni destroyed you in this conversation. I didn't even watch the video. I was just like, Yoni destroyed you in this conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's funny. He actually called me probably like 20, 30 minutes, like not maybe 2 hours ago. And he's like, yo, I know Tal, you have to bring up some things with
Yeah, you don't want me. You don't want. He doesn't want me to bring up certain things, man. That guy's a lot.
He's a lot. I appreciate him because like, you know me, I try to actually have conversations. Yeah, you could come get it. You could come get it. No, don't worry. Don't be sorry. It's all, it's a public office. Um, okay, basically, I really appreciate him because I like to talk to people. Are you still working at this body? Okay, awesome, amazing. As long as we're good, we're good, you know? Yeah. Definitely. So basically, I really appreciate it because I like to talk to people across the aisle, right? Like, I like because like I know like in the end of the day, like I have my opinions, but like also like I'm Israeli, I'm Jewish, I'm proud of my identity. I was raised in Israel, so like I lived in Israel throughout like the Intifada and stuff. I have friends that died in the Nova Festival. I'm extremely biased, like to be 100 with you. כאילו
Yeah,
אין מה לעשות. Like I think I'm right. I think I'm on the right side of history. אבל I think it's also good for like people to hear the other side and have debate and have discourse. I think it's an important thing.
of course, man. That's like one of the biggest things I'm trying to bring to the conversation when I do what I do is like I'm trying to engage with Arabs. Like I'm tired of the from day one that I was doing this like Hasbara bullshit, whatever we can call it.
That's bullshit.
I've been in the zone of speaking to Arabim. Like the first video
Yeah,
I ever made on this was directly targeted towards Arabs. My goal has always been start and end with Arabim. That's the first goal first. I don't
yeah.
care about Jewish people content. It's like for me, it's a side thing. It's nice that it happens, but I don't. It's not my goal because like there's no point in doing hasbara for Jewish people. You can do education for Jewish people, but hasbara about Israel doesn't really make sense to do it for Jewish people.
I don't know. I would disagree, bro. Like people who read like Yitona Haaretz, some of these fucking libtards in New York, some of them are worse than the Arabs here. You don't even understand.
But that's why I say the people in New York, and I have a serious gripe with this. Like I made a video about it today. The Jews in the West, they need like a full on re education program, in my opinion, like to understand our story from start to finish. Because I think a lot of Jews, like specific, you're in New York, right?
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah,
Jews
look
in
at
New
this
York,
we got over here. It's New York City, baby.
New York City, baby. I feel
I'm
like
walking
a
here.
lot of
I'm
Jews.
walking here.
I'm walking here. I feel like a lot of Jews in New York, they need to understand what the full picture is of being a Jew. I don't think a lot of people really understand it.
100%. A lot of people here don't understand what it is to be a Jew. They think being a Jew is being a socialist or being a communist or, they think it's a lot of things. They think it's like helping out people that hate us, and they think it's being nice to terrorists. That's what they think being Jewish means. Because at the end
I
of the
also
day,
think
what
a
is
lot of
that?
them live in caricature world of what a Jew is. Like to them, a Jew is Jerry Seinfeld and a bagel and cream cheese with lox and like theater. You know, like that's not in Hollywood. Like that's not what Judaism is alone. It's not what being part of Am Yisrael is. And one of the things I talked about in today's video that like definitely some people will rub the wrong way is that a lot of times it excludes people like me. You know, like I'm excluded from that conversation, and people who look like me are excluded from that conversation because it's a caricature of what a Jew in America is, and it sort of applies to everybody. And then people wonder how we get labeled as a white colonizer. And I'm out here in the streets of Israel cleaning this shit up. You know, I'm out here
Yeah.
asking, "Are you white colonizer?" And they're like, What is white colonizer? What do I do?"
Yeah, that video you do with the donkey, oh my god, it's so fucking funny. You do the donkey, there was a camel, you're like, are you one colonizer?
The camel one was good.
I was dead. I was dead. No, listen. So the thing is that if you want to jump into it, the thing is what I think about what you said today is like first of all is a lot of these galas they are important because a lot of like what goes on in Israel, like a lot of the good shit that happens in Israel is through fundraising in America, right? How do you do fundraising? You do it through a gala. You have to. That's
Right.
like I went to the One Israel fundraiser where I was where basically this fucking organization they're building a hospital in Yudav Shamron, okay? Like honestly, like no better thing you could do like for the people there, you know, like no better in my opinion, no better way you could spend your money doing anything. They raised like $200 million, I think, from one family, the Nahisi family. I'll give them a shout out. But what they do is why you need a fundraiser because you go, you showcase what you're about to do. You know, you have a video montage. You have they had Mike Huckabee was there, Michael Rappaport, Korme Anashim, and you get the fucking rich people drunk and you get them excited and they write huge checks. The kilo that's the game of like what's going on. Yes, a lot of these fundraisers are bullshit. But it also is like for me, like I post my views. I'm very vocal about like how I feel about things. I was very vocal about Trump. I was very vocal about a lot of things. And so a lot of them I don't agree with because I don't agree with their agenda, kilo tachlis. But a lot of organizations that I do agree with your agenda, like you do need to have a gala, you do need to have a fundraiser.
Listen, I never been to a gala in my life. I don't
I
honestly
should have gone.
after this last year, I can confidently say I'll probably never go to one also.
Yeah, you're not getting invited, dude.
I don't think I'm getting invited, especially after the video I made today. But two,
Yo, if you guys didn't
I
see, he started the video. Yo, fuck galas.
I didn't. I didn't do that. It was very specific. I don't have a problem with the concept of a gala. I just think there was like a little period now recently where it was too much. Okay, I think we can
Fun.
all agree that the whole
No fun.
Jewish world felt it. It was too much. Like it was like every single day. And to speak on One Israel Fund, Yuda Honikman, who lives in the West Bank, he in Yehuda and Shomron, he invited me and a bunch of other creators in Israel to like a private dinner in Shiloh. It was amazing on the behalf of One Israel Fund. So I fuck with them. I personally have no problem with the fund at all. I think it's amazing that they're able to raise money. I think the concept, though, and I won't name names, but I have a friend who's going to do even more investigative shit about these galas and this whole Hasbara industry. Listen, the money is definitely not being purposed in the right direction overall. I'm not saying specifically all the galas, but in overall image, we are doing this wrong, objectively. Look at it from the outside, anti-Semitism is going up. And yes,
Whoa.
the numbers are we're outnumbered for sure, but we are not making a dent. We're not making a dent. And you tell me, you're there with the pro-Palestinians on the ground. When you see an event of a gala after gala after gala after gala of a lot of Jews who look white, not saying that they are white because they're not, but who look white in their best gowns and tuxedos, night after night, being flown around America. Not in Israel. No Israelis really involved. It's mostly American Jews. There's some Israelis, splattered through there, but mostly American Jews going to these events, whining and dining, parties, music, food. Achi. And then you have Palestinian babies torn apart into shreds on Twitter, and you have that on Telegram. we're shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, I look at it objectively. I'm like, "Maza chara is it? We're not doing this right. We're not playing the game correctly."
Yeah, yeah. You see, like people like these, like fucking, like jewelry with the Magen David and the dresses, and Chanel is making an Israeli dress. The God, Shma, I agree with you 100% on that.
So we see eye to eye on this. We really do.
Bubble. But that's bullshit. I'm just saying there's a certain culture that, let's say, if you're in the fundraising business, that I'm not, but I do understand there's a certain fundraising culture that let's say me and you had a cause, right? Bonagid, me and you, Lord Dale, we wanted to raise money to build a defense system, to build a new missile factory in Israel. Bonagid. Rightful cause, nachon?
Yeah.
We wanted, me and you were like, yo, me and Tal were like, yo, we're launching the Israeli military arms complex, Kusomo. Kusomo Biden, we're launching it. So the way we would raise money is we would build a gala, right? That's the only way to raise money. En malasot. You could have you could have fucking stupid causes and embezzlement and corruption and bullshit and dresses, and you shouldn't post about it too much. Like I've been to galas. You've never seen me once on Instagram in a picture with a tuxedo on. I also don't go with the tuxedo on. Iba kilo sweater kilo kusama. Yeah, I'm the
But
guy from the
here's the
internet who
deal.
yells rape rag at Palestinians, Gilmani.
I feel you on the fact that they need to happen and that they're necessary. And I'm not like that's specifically why I worded my words in a specific way of like I didn't say end all galas. I'm not going on a crusade against the galas. I'm just saying maybe there's a little bit too many.
Bro,
Maybe it seems like there might be a little too many and that money can be repurposed. But the thing that feels wrong to me, and I'm not trying to stand on a pedestal here, and I'm definitely not trying to stand on the bodies of the hostages and the bodies of our dead. But Po Israel, we still have hostages in Gaza. The
yeah,
war is still going on. All of us here, whether we're in the north or the south or now in the central part of Israel, waking up in the middle of the night from fucking rockets from the Houthis. So it's
yeah,
like we're still very much in a war. And then when you look on Instagram and you see like millions of dollars and
yeah.
you see what that gala looks like, it's not a good look. Like it's not even a good look, I would say, interior in the Jewish world. Because I'll be honest with you, Yossi and Shimrit and Rishon LeZion are not sitting on Instagram looking at these Jews in America celebrating in New York and Miami, and they're not going, ha ha ha, that's cool, achdut. They're not looking
Dude,
at it in that way.
Am Echad.
They're not feeling that. They're looking at it as like, oh, that's a little bit out of touch. Kilo, it's kind of weird to like come up on stage and promote the hostages and all this, and then like dance the night away in your finest jewelry. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. That's not what I'm saying. It's just maybe the frequency and the publicity of it is a little much right now.
I get that it's annoying. I get it's annoying, and you're right. Also even the point you made before of, like, let's be honest, bro. Like, I'm here in New York, and I have a crew of a few people. We're part of Beitar here in New York, and we go and we fuck with Palestinians, and we get in their face. And like, honestly, even New Yorkers are starting to appreciate us because they're blocking bridges, they're blocking hospitals, right? We want to raise funding for this, but like, we will never do a gala, right? People were like, "Yo, I fucking hate Palestinians. Take $200." כאילו, ככה זה עובד אצלנו. Like I
Mhm.
like what you guys are doing, but in the end of the day, like, yeah, if you want to do major projects like building hospitals, Judah Shamon, you need a gala. But also, it turns out to we're like 90% of the galas, I agree with you. But like, at the end of the day, like, today, you ever heard like the Eretz Shvatim Umachanot? Whatever. Basically, like, within the Jewish people, we're
Mhm.
divided, nachon? Like, ideologically, spiritually, everything. Right now, if there wasn't a war in Gaza, there would probably be a civil war in Israel, nachon or nachon?
Maybe not a civil war, but yeah. So
Close
it
to
wouldn't
it.
be. Yeah.
I mean, so at the end of the day, like there's there's gonna be when you so for me, it's very easy to navigate because, like, online, I'm very open with my beliefs, what I want, what I think is right, what I think is wrong. I get invited only to the things that I appreciate. Kilu, people who are voting for Kamala, אחי, לא מזמינים אותי. They don't.
I also want to clarify, like, I don't. Maybe I might be shooting myself in the foot if this clip ever gets out or anything. Like, if anybody large scale sees this, I could give like less of a fuck about it being invited to a gala. I'm extremely antisocial, and I lived in Tel Aviv the last year. I haven't been to like one party. I don't go
All
out,
right.
and I get invited. I just don't go out because I'm antisocial. Like I rather stay on the internet, and be with my close friend group, or be in the nature. I don't go out to like social events at all. So if I get invited to a gala, short of being paid to be there or to speak there for some reason, I honestly wouldn't go. You're not gonna find me like looking to put on a tuxedo and go to. I don't own a tuxedo. I don't have a suit.
I
I
mean,
actually don't
neither.
even have a dress here in Israel. So
What?
like I don't
Oh,
even have a dress shirt, bro. So I wouldn't like you won't see me going to one of these things. But the same perspective, I think the main thing is it's just for me when looking for mirror, it's just frequency. Echad po, echad sham. Do one, do one every quarter. Get together, beautiful.
I feel like there's like
But like,
four girls you used to date right now that are watching this. Is like, that's why you didn't get dressed up for me. 'Cause
to a date, I get
that's why
dressed
you
up, but
showed
I'm
up to
not.
my parents' house in flip flops. Ivanti.
That is, I'm guilty for that one. That one I'm
Listen,
guilty
baby,
for.
it's not about you. It's he doesn't own a dress shirt.
Yeah, no, I don't. I kind of like I cringe a little bit of that. The whole Americanized. And look, I'm American. I grew up most of my life in the U.S. I just
Stop it, man.
the Amer. Yeah, I grew up in South Florida.
I literally thought your English is like from watching YouTube. Be much idiot. I literally thought you're Israeli and you learned English like playing video games on Fortnite, like on Call of Duty Live.
Look,
And
Hebrew is my first language. Like my parents taught me Hebrew first, and I only lived in Israel for like 5 years total in my whole life.
die
But like I grew up Israeli. Like I didn't grow up as an American. You know,
in South Florida
in
though.
South Florida. Like I grew up neighbors with Rudy Rockman. Like we grew up as like a crew
Hamas,
of
Funak.
for a certain age, yes, and then we moved to Israel, and we I was never Mefunak after that.
No, so guys, the whole tuxedo. Okay, so I get it. You're against galas because you just reject the culture of materialism. Wanna
No, I have no problem with materialism. I just think materialism in the middle of a war, it's weird. It's a weird image to send out to people. I'm also like hyper aware of what's being said about Jewish people. That's one
Oh,
of my main issues. Like, akhi, they are the culture. Okay, here, let me break it down to you very simply because I think this is like the best argument. Liberal Jews in America, who are like the most excited about these galas, I think, those liberal Jews in America, they don't even have to be like lefty Jews. I'm just saying liberal Jews. They pushed and they like really spearheaded DEI and like DEI, like diversity, equity,
bro,
inclusion.
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
So they really pushed that and like diversity and all of that. And I'm not against it. I just think they really pushed it, and now the culture has shifted to everything is about culture and race. And we're in a war where you're considered a white person even though you're not white, and I'm considered a white person, and I've never been able to reap the benefits of being a white person ever in my life. So
Yeah,
like it's I think that the Jewish people in America, imlo ivinu 100% where we're standing. They're like,
yeah.
when you go out with your pearls and your dress, you feed into that whole thing. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, send Abu Baklawa with a kafia into Times Square. Put me and Avraham Hamra and all these people who are brown and black right now who can speak English well and fucking send us, akhi, like a disease. Make us the plague. Send us Send us everywhere. Pay up the wazoo. Pay for our tickets. Pay for our hotels. Pay for our speaking engagements. It's not we don't have the money. We have the money in the Jewish
Yeah.
world. Send us everywhere. Don't let one person not know on planet Earth that Jews are brown and black first. First.
So listen. First of all, I get what you're saying because you might be darker than me, but I am a transgender plumber, so I'm also DEI. People don't know that. People
You
don't
which
know
what are your pronouns?
that JG.
JG. Mine are they slash was.
This is like slash what? No, I'm kidding. But no, 100%. Because also, but like, it's also because we're Jews. We're just victims of our own success. Like, in the end of the day, like we're victims of our own success in the fact of like Like yeah, hey, like at the end of the day, like also like Ashkenaz Jews, the Holocaust was 70 years ago. We fucking made it big time though. We're not, and that's what separates us between the Palestinians is that we make the best of the worst, and they make the worst even worse.
Yes, they don't really know how to progress forward past the shitty situation. The idea of resilience, lo kayam etzlem, really, they don't really know how to like pick themselves up from their bootstraps and push forward. We do. We're also victims of our own incompetence though, because we're so good at being good that we start looking stupid after a while. And I think
Yeah,
that's kind of where we're at right now. Like, listen, man, the Hasbara thing has been, in some parts, it's been shameful. It really has been. Like, the way that it's been progressing. I've been a part of it for a year. There's people who have been in it for way longer. And even today, with the video I put out, sort of exposing all this, Achi, I don't want, without naming names, I got messages from people who have been in this for a long time, who I've been watching for years, who told me straight up, they were like, I stopped doing Hasbara because I felt like it wasn't going anywhere. Like it's not because of the fight, because of the Jewish world. Like the lack of support and this thing. I'm not the first person feeling this.
I,
And
I
I for a long
I agree. I feel the same way. Even if you can see with my content, I don't even do Hasbara anymore. I'm mostly, it's like all about Jewish pride. Like I'm fucking Jewish. I'm proud. I fucking love it. I'm like, it's like because like I don't know. Like I feel like we're just like heading to this place. Like especially like in the diaspora where you feel like a lot of like in Israel like there's a fight. Like you know like there's, like you know Yachad Nenatzach and Salbo Darbo. Just like I don't know, there's like a mentality of like people fight in Israel. Even though there's a lot of infighting, which is like I don't like, uh, which we could get into. But in America, it's just like you have to like make people like aware, like listen, like we're not walking back into a gas chamber. Like wake the fuck up, you know? Like wake the fuck
you're
up.
not that kind of Jew. You're not that kind of Jew anymore. Like by all means, that was our ancestors, and they were put into terrible conditions. But listen, we got nutrition now. We got carbohydrates. We got the rice. We got juice. We got Gatorade. We're not going back. Like it's that. It's yeah. You know, like we're good, man. I'm overweight, like 30 pounds. We're not going back.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
let's like
I watch
we
Krav
can
Maga videos on YouTube. I know what's up.
like we don't need to think in this mentality of it always needs to be us on the defense. We should be more aggressive. We should be on the offense. Like you know who Abraham Hamra is, right?
Go, go, go. I saw him
So
at
like
the yeah. I know him.
he's
He's in
like
New
bro,
York.
he's honestly he's like a role model of mine. Like I believe in his messaging and the way he goes about being so aggressive, so unfiltered, and attacking the Arab world. He doesn't go on the defense. He goes dirty. He plays dirty. He talks dirty. That's exactly the footsteps I want to go into because khalas, akhi, we're done being Jewish people who wait to get attacked and then respond. Khalas, akhi. People don't understand. I joined this fight, yeah, a year ago. I'm in for life now. I'm locked in. Like any
Yeah.
of that, I'm not going back to travel vlogging the way I was before. I'm in now forever, and I will forever be attacking Arabs and attacking Muslims for their shitty politics and identity and for the shortcomings of their culture. I'll try to make peace with them, but I'm going to be attacking them morally on the internet forever now. That's where my life is. And my problem is I look at the Jews around me in this space, and I'm like, I try to analyze. I'm like, I don't know how many of you guys are in this for the right reasons. I don't know how many of you guys are in it for real. Or if you're just in it right now because you're getting some likes on Instagram and TikTok and it feels good.
So you're an infidel for life.
I'm an infidel, akhi.
You're a fucking kafir, bro.
What can I do, akhi? أنا حمار, أنا حمار.
Come on, you're a khmar. Um, let me ask you something. What do you think? What do you think? Like is like a long term solution? Like let's say war ends, Trump brings back the hostages. What's the next step?
Take control of Yudan Shimon,
Okay.
declare it as a part of Israel first. First and foremost, we take no kill the idea of a Palestinian state. I don't care if it's through the United States, like U.S. Two-state solution needs to be done. Like we can't do two-state solution. There's no way that morally Palestinians, after this year of torturing us globally and like literally chasing us around the whole globe, we cannot morally allow the Muslim world or the Arab world to get a win by a Palestinian state. in any context whatsoever, it will morally bankrupt the Jewish world. It'll be the beginning of
100%.
our, I think, if we do something like that. Huge mistake. We need to send a message to the Arab world and to the Muslim world that we are powerful and undefeatable. They cannot take on Bnei Israel. The Bnei Israel from the Quran are here. The massacre that Muhammad did in Khaybar, there is nothing that they can do to take. We're back and stronger than ever. So that's first and foremost. I take a little bit more of a hippie holistical approach where I
We,
believe and
we,
I
we give them,
want
we
this.
roll them a fat joint, and we're like, listen, smoke this, and this
All
is
right.
for the plane ride for wherever you're gonna go. At least you don't have to do it sober because we're Jews. I have a big heart. I'm a Jewish. I'm a Yiddish neshama.
Not maybe I'm not that hippie. Maybe I'm not that hippie, but I definitely want to find the way to coexist together on the same land. I just feel I feel like we're heading towards a civil war, regardless of what we want to do. I believe so. A lot of people
Bro,
think I'm wrong about this, and they think that there's a way to ship a lot of Palestinians out of here and get the extremists out of here, and only the good ones stay. I think the Palestinians in the West Bank, for everybody who's saying they're not, they are full of Hamas. They are full of terrorists. And I've been on the ground in Nablus, in Shechem. I've been on the ground in Ramallah. I've been on the ground in Kalandi. I've walked the streets of these terrorist refugee camps. They are full of terrorism. They are full of Hamas. They are full of supporters of genocide. They're full of supporters of jihad. We first and foremost, I think, need to fight this civil war that's coming towards
I'll
us.
tell you, there's actually a few mechanics I would keep in Dil Kadis. Um, Growing up in Israel, I bought a car when I was like in 12th grade, bet, and I was constantly getting in accidents and like scratching it up and like to fix like your like even like a bumper in Israel back then was like 3,000 4,000 shekel. I used to bring it to Dir Kadis, fix it for 2,000 3,000, and just for that, for like I would keep maybe one or two mechanics, but otherwise I agree. Uh,
Bro, but if you have the West Bank, you could just go into Jordan because you'll have
yeah,
peace, and then you can go repair your car in Jordan.
but
You know,
okay,
it's not a big.
so let me ask you. So yeah, so that was my next question is let's say what is it like 2.5 million 3 million Palestinians live there. What are we doing with them?
I think that they're gearing up for a war against us, so we need to fight that war first and see what happens after that war.
That's a good answer. I would have said the same thing. Uh,
Because can't know one, you don't know the total number of Palestinians that are entrenched in that uprising. It could be 500,000, it could be 100,000, it could be a million. I don't know what to tell you, but whatever it will be a long war and it will be a hard war. We're going to lose soldiers and they're going to lose a lot of people, but I don't believe that it's possible to go without that war. I think that war is inevitable. Like the Palestinians in Yudan Shomon are gearing up for it, and all the mitnachlim, all the settlers, which I think is a racist term, but all the Jewish settlers in Yudan Shomon, they're also gearing up for a war. If you go to Ariel right now, or you go to Efrat, or you go to Hebron, and you ask the settlers how they feel about their Palestinian neighbors, they're all going to tell you that they're waiting for an October 7th. And they've been saying this for a while now. They're preparing for an October 7th. So when that happens, that war is going to start, and we don't have any control. Like, it's going to happen one way or another. I say
yeah,
Israel should start that war, be on the upper hand, not get surprised by it, clear out the people they need to clear out, and then start planning for the day after.
yeah. There's sort of like this thing where it's like we don't like the consensus in like Yudav Shammon is like we don't we don't treat terrorism there like it's like a real issue. Like they don't. It's like I don't know. It's like people there haven't woken up. It's like they're like, oh, Sababa, they're mitachlim. They could live with it. They're like, yalla, like, but um, yeah, I
I'll
agree.
say it's a little more complicated than that because the U.S. administration, especially in the last 4 years, has been super hostile towards settlers. They've been super hostile towards settlers. I mean, to the point where they're freezing people's bank accounts and they're finding ways to like. Joe Biden has done some really disgusting stuff towards the settlers in the West Bank. It's terrible. And it's kind of like, listen, I've been there a lot recently in the last year, and I've sat down with a lot of people. I met with a lot of people there. It's like the Wild West. It's different rules, man. It's not like Israel proper, and it's because it's segmented in so many different parts. And some places you have real coexistence, like some places you have where like Hamas supporters and IDF supporters are shopping in the same supermarket, and they're coexisting. And then you have
Yeah,
other places, fences and walls. It's a really complicated. So you gotta bring it under sovereignty of one nation, and it should not be Palestine. It has
yeah,
to be Israel.
yeah. I'll just give a shout if there anyone's watching here from the United States, that like any wild Jewish boys that like to ride motorcycles and get into fights, move to David Shablon. You could do whatever you want. Uh, You can do whatever you want. Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Also, it's like the car robberies, everything that goes on there. But I will say, just to keep it positive, um, there are some Palestinians who do are I wouldn't say like Israel, but do like are okay with Israel just because they know that it's better for their pockets to be next to the state of Israel.
No, I don't agree with that. I think there's a lot of people who also ideologically they love Israel because they realize they'll have a way better life here. I mean, the average Palestinian that you'll ask, even in Yehuda and Shomron, they ask him if they want to move to Jordan right now or if they want. They know that living under Jews, not just financially, morally, they know it's a lot better for them. I know a bunch myself. I even know ones who live around a bunch of Hamas who would tell you they much rather live under the control of the IDF any day than under the control of Hamas. But the problem is their society is fucked. Arab society has so many shortcomings culturally. They need to be so critiqued by the West, and and I'm not going to say you and I are part of the West because we're not part of the West. Just by the way this conversation is going, you and I are definitely not a part of the West. But the
What
West
do
has
you
been
mean?
so
I
afraid
drank iced coffee this morning, bro. What do you mean?
to have pumpkin. That's the
I
question.
had pumpkin spice. What do you mean? I go to the spa on Tuesday.
What do
Maeshka.
you mean? That's a fucking pumpkin spice. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? I have a Christian neighbor. I said Merry Christmas. Maeshka. Tamba.
I'm saying like we've been so afraid in the West to call out Arabs for their shortcomings, for their shitty behavior. Everyone's been so afraid to say it because they don't want to come off as racist. But you know what?
Wow, so
That's
you're
where somebody like
Islamophobic.
I can come in and say it because I'm Arab. I'm not Arab. I don't believe I'm an Arab in any way, shape, or form. But all the Arabs are like, you're Arab. So I'm like, fuck it. So I'll critique it. So if
Yeah,
if white Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews are not allowed to say anything, I'll say it. I'll say it all day, every day.
yeah.
Arabs and Islam have a lot of shortcomings in their society. I don't hate them all. I don't have a problem with all of them. I want to help to fix the situation. I really do because we need to be able to live together, but we can't in the moment.
Wait, so you're just for the record, we'll go back to what we're talking about. But you're against the grooming gangs in England.
Against the grooming gangs in
Yeah,
England,
Muslim grooming gangs in England. You're against them. You think it's a bad thing?
I think I'm against Muslim gangs. Period. Like doesn't matter what other if there's a Muslim gang, I'm against it. Period. In any part of the world because nothing good has ever come out of a Muslim gang, period.
Well, that's really Islamophobic. Uh, and also,
Yeah,
you're
sure.
racist. You're racist against gangs in general. I feel like that's
I am
already.
a little bit racist against gangs.
No, so wait, I want to get back to some stuff. I think this is important stuff. Um, yeah. So you say the war needs to happen. You demonstrate one because it's like been like a civil war on and off, hot and cold for many years, and then we could see what happens after that. Because personally, I went to high school in Yudava one for 2 years. I've spent a lot of time there, and the one thing that me and Anas agree about in this subject is like, yeah, it's like I think the military occupation, it has to end one way or another. Like you can't keep on doing this for years. Either you kick them out or you let them stay. But like there has to be like some sort of like it's like in Israel, like the Israeli government is just so fucking comfortable with the status quo of like yalla, make moves. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards.
I agree. I agree 100%. By the way, and something about Anas you should know is like that guy is a full blown terrorist supporter. Like
I
he
know.
definitely employs the whole takia thing where like at certain moments he'll tell you that he kind of believes in coexistence, but other moments he's a full blown terrorist supporter.
No, he's
Um,
actually. I'll tell you something. He's harder to because the problem is like honestly, for my own self, Sababa. Some days I could be more radical. Some days I could be less. Kirush, a bit like because it also depends. Like Like on like how like let's say there's a terrorist attack in Davar Shamwan, I'm like kill them all. But 2 days before that, I'm like no, that Shaldabeg. Like you know what I mean? Like
See, that's something about me that I don't like. I don't waver like that. You know, my morals stay pretty, and I don't blame you because emotions they get tied up into this shit. But
whoa,
like certain things you have to sort of take a moral stance on so we can get somewhere. Like you can't have your emotions play into it too much. But I get it. I'm not
yeah,
blaming you for having it.
whoa.
But yeah, look,
No, also where me and Anas agree on is Anas voted for Trump. He he doesn't like he's against Anas is against most of this rioting that goes on in New York. He's against blocking the bridges. He's against terrorizing New York, Baklali. He's against it. Um he
buy it. He's
he does
all about.
sympathize what? No,
I don't buy it.
he
He
sympathizes
meets
with
with
Hamas.
hangs out with Nitoy Calta. He's not the guy. The guy would not have a problem. He's confused also because I don't think he's the brightest person in the bunch. But he's one of those Palestinians who classically will jump their morals left and right to what suits them. Like he's happy to see the destruction of America when it comes to the Nitoy Calta. But in the same moment, I'll tell him go fight for Hamas. And he'll be like, "Well, I shouldn't fight for Hamas. I was born in New York." Like, or I live in New York. I was like, "It doesn't fucking matter. Go fight for Hamas." What do you mean? Go fight for them. All you
But
do all day is support.
I feel like in many ways he's torn between two worlds, which I sort of understand in a
Sure,
way.
like many of us, but you know,
Yeah.
there's a certain between actively hanging out with people who seek the destruction of the West, the place that he's leeching off of. Like my
No,
problem with
I'm telling you 100%. I know for a fact he voted for Trump. He campaigned for Trump. He tried to get other Muslims to vote for Trump.
yeah, you know, he told me. I mean, he messages me on TikTok every once in a while, and I make fun of him, but he'll message me on TikTok every once in a while, like I voted for Trump. I'm like, dude, Trump's gonna fuck your people. I don't know why Muslims in America took the stance of like Trump is gonna be good for Muslims or Arabs. Like
No, because deep
Palestine.
down he knows that in a way Trump is actually better for them in a way. Not for Hamas, but for the Arab people who live there. It's gonna be better for because he knows that deep down he knows that once we get the hostages back and once we demilitarize Hamas, the Palestinians' lives are gonna get better, not worse.
I mean, listen, there's a big variable there that I'll add to. I think Trump and Israelis have the ability to improve the lives of Palestinians, but the biggest variable in that equation is the Palestinians themselves. They have been notoriously known for fucking up their own ability to succeed. I have no doubt in my mind that they will find a way to continue to do that. Like really, this group of people, and objectively, don't. I'm not saying it because I hate Palestinians. 'Cause I really do love Palestinians. I see. I honestly, I say it all the time. I've hung out with them plenty. I like them. I like their culture. I like their food. I fuck with their music. I like them. I don't have a problem with them. And I see brothers and sisters in a
They're
lot
good
of
at
them.
propaganda. I'll give them that much. They're fucking good at it.
I, I don't have a problem with them. I think that sometimes they're not the brightest in the bunch. But if you ask anybody in the world, ask ask the person who's most well versed in diplomacy. Ask a historian. Ask the Arabs, every Arab country, Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, everyone that surrounds them. Ask them, have Palestinians been fuck ups over and over again? They'll tell you, and if they'll tell you it's by their own design. They won't tell you the Jews did everything. They'll say Palestinians keep fucking up, no
Yeah.
matter what. They keep fucking up. They're unable of controlling their own destiny. I believe it's holistically because I think they're bound to us. I think they're part of our family, and it's our job to help them. Because I
They're
think
part of our DNA in a way.
I look can't deny it. In a way, they're a part of us. And I always bring this equation when I'm telling people. I'm like, if you look at it in this way, if you have a friend growing up, right, and that friend his whole life he just gets into drugs and partying and stealing people's money, and he keeps fucking up, fucking up, fucking up. If you're a good friend, you help that friend out. If you're a bad friend, you ignore them and you let them keep fucking up. If you're a good friend, you help that friend up. You help prop him up. I think Israel and the Jewish people have been a bad friend with good intentions. We've tried to do good, but we've been a bad friend.
We've been enabling.
We've been enabling shitty behavior. We now need to take a stance and say, we're going to make you better.
Time out. Go to your room.
Exactly. There's no more ifs, ands, or buts. We're going to raise you up from the ground up and we're going to help your society now, but for real this time. And if that requires really uncomfortable conversation and really uncomfortable moments, and unfortunately, people to die because that's what happens in a war against a violent ideology, that's gotta happen. Unfortunately, that's it. It is what it is.
Yeah. It's like, listen, you need a fancy psychiatrist from New York, we'll pay for you. You just have to go. You have to take your medicine and shut the fuck up.
We'll
Uh,
put you in rehab. You will pay for the rehab. You have to go.
yeah. I know. In many ways, I fucking, when you said you fucking hit the nail on the head. Like that's an amazing way to put it. Like fucking, a brilliant way to put it. Um, okay. There's another thing. Another one. There's another something I want to talk to you about. Is you live in Israel, right?
Yeah, now I do.
Uh, how do you lean politically in Israel?
Honestly, I don't even get into it, the politics here. I think the people here are so stupid when it comes to the politics.
I
Like I
agree.
don't. I think Israelis fundamentally don't understand where they live. A lot of them. I think they're also so out of touch with the world outside of them that they're just like they're too busy on like the and I don't blame them because life here is difficult and stressful. But like I think they're so busy on the 9 to 5 and then going for a vacation in Europe or in Greece and they're like they forget like the point of why we're all here. I get to look at that from a perspective, a privileged perspective, because I didn't live here my whole life, and I've had a very third degree view. I always acknowledge that. So politically here, I don't lean left. I don't lean right. I don't lean center. Honestly, I don't vote. I don't. I've only been here for a year, really living here right now. I can't speak on the politics here at all. I really can't.
All right.
I don't feel like there's anything good happening here politically. Like there's nothing positive happening politically.
Okay, get rid of the Supreme Court or not? That's the
If you ask me, and people fire back on me on this all the time, I don't think democracy can exist here long term.
what?
I know it sounds crazy,
What?
but hold on. Just vibe with me for a second, okay?
Wait. I gotta go find that hammer and break something. I can't. Stop. Yalla, I'm vibing with you. Yalla. Malchut Yehuda. What are we talking?
I mean, that's not far from like what I think we should get aspire to be. Here's the thing: you live in a region where you're the only democracy. Your democracy right now is your weakness. That's the truth. You have an Arab population that will outgrow you no matter what you do here. It's going to happen. No matter how many Jewish babies you try to breed, there's more of them than us, and they will outbreed you here, especially if you work out a situation with Yehuda and Shomron where you make people either citizens or residents, which you have to do. And I think the Israeli government has been stalling for a lot of years because they don't have a good
Listen,
solution to
why?
this.
I mean, let's be honest. Ethnic cleansing is also on the table. Like, I'm not.
I don't believe in it. I wouldn't stand for it personally. I'd be out protesting if there was an actual ethnic cleansing happening. And I don't protest for shit. I've never protested in my life.
I mean, now I'm talking about the Israeli Arabs. I'm talking about in Yudav Shammon.
I know I wouldn't stand for it. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in ethnically cleansing anybody
So you
because
say
my family
either
was.
take them. So you say either take them in. So you're kind of contradicting yourself because you're saying I don't believe in a Palestinian state, right? That's how you started the whole discussion. You said I don't believe in a Palestinian state. Okay, Sababa, what's the alternative? Um, a forever occupation, okay,
No,
or ethnic forever occupation, bringing them in, giving them citizenship or ethnic. Those are your three options, really.
yeah.
A, B, C, D.
First of all, you have for that to work out, you can't really be a democracy because, like, for example, in the
So
Emirates,
you're
right?
saying you would take the Palestinians in or occupy them forever.
I don't want to occupy them forever. I want them to be a part of my nation,
You
but
want them
I
to be
want.
Israeli citizens, all of them.
So that's the caveat. I don't believe that democracy can exist under that context. You
I
can't
would
have the
honestly rather have like because I would, I don't know.
just listen to what I'm saying real quick. The UAE,
Yeah, you confused me a little bit, but yeah, تبشير.
it's a big topic, and I have to say a lot of people don't agree with me on this. Uh, the United Arab Emirates has 900,000 population of their own citizens. They're called Emiratis. Those are like the Arabim that live in the United Arab Emirates. The population of the Emirates, though, is 10 million people. And that's because 9 million people live there as foreigners. Indians, Bangladesh, Filipinos. So there you have a group of people who are outnumbered by the foreigners living in their country. I think that we can offer Palestinians, and that's not a democracy. The United Arab Emirates is not a democracy. Me and you can never get citizenship there, no matter how we try. You can't. It's not a democracy. You'll never have equal rights there. No Filipino or Indian or anybody who moves there will ever have equal rights. And people live a very high quality of life there. Because they live under a specific strict system. It's called an emirate system, where you have an emir that controls local governance. It's very complicated. But the thing is, you have to add an element of theology. You cannot remove the Judaism from the state. And you have to, in my opinion, needs to be some sort of Emirati theocracy. Something
So
that
you
works.
believe it? You believe in a religious monarchy, basically. Fair.
You can't have democracy in the Middle East. There's not one example of it. It doesn't
But
work.
Sababa, but you to come to Israelis living in where do you live? You live in Tel Aviv.
I live close to it. But
So
yeah,
what do
you're
you
right.
do?
You're
You don't. Okay, so so what the law of the nation is in Torah. Like you don't keep Shabbat, you go to jail. Like what? What do we go? No, you still need two edim and so I know it's complicated, but like
You're 100% correct about that, by the way. And that's the one thing when I tell people this idea, the one thing that I have the biggest problem with is every Israeli I've ever run it by has like been like, fuck no, I want my democracy. Because they love their democracy. But I also think that realistically, you have to look at this pragmatically. Jordan's not becoming democratic anytime soon. Neither is Lebanon, neither is Syria, neither is Egypt. Those are your neighbors. They all disrespect you fundamentally because you're a democracy. And they will keep fighting with you because you're a democracy, and they will never want a democracy. Those are your neighbors. That's your community. You will never fit in this neighborhood if you're not a democracy. If you are a democracy. I believe that's one element of it. Two, the Arabs that live inside of your nation will never be able to function under democracy. Arabs don't function under democracy properly in the West. How do you want them to do it in the Middle East? It's never going to work ever. Long term, they're going to outwin you in that.
you're really an Arab lover, huh? You're
No,
giving up your democracy for them.
I'm not giving up democracy. I'm just trying to make it work because we've been doing this for 76 years, but it hasn't worked. It's not working.
It's so funny. You're honestly you're fucking. First of all, respect. You're like an interesting ass dude because like the first way as you're talking, I was like, this guy is like the fucking Tzigana Tzadak to the limit, and he's like, no, no, no. I just want to fucking take them all in, under the religion. How about this? How about this for an idea? Okay, you have Eretz Yisrael democracy,
Mhm.
Malchut Yehuda theocracy.
So you put only the Palestinians and the settlers under a kingdom of Judaism.
Yeah,
I
and the king
fucking love.
and the
I
king is
love.
Ben.
Just keep it like the Wild West in just that area, like just
Yeah.
forever. So it's basically the same as what we have right now. Like it's basically the same.
Yeah, but no, make it official. Because, like, honestly, in the end of the day, like, now that I'm thinking about it, like you seem like a pretty knowledgeable guy. Like, you learn Tanakh. Like, that's how we did it back in the day.
I'm
And
actually really, really not well versed on the Tanakh or the Torah at all. So I want everybody to know who's watching this. I'm retarded when it comes to the Torah and Judaism. Like I don't know much at all. And I also never use the Torah to justify any of the things that I'm saying or religion. I have a very personal relationship with God. I'm a believer, but it's not in the context of like modern Judaism at all. So like I have a very, very strong belief, a very strong connection to Hashem. I pray, I meditate.
it's just based off nothing. It's
I put on every day that I believe, but
but I do it
I
while I'm watching porn because that's the way the stuff.
I have a lot of criticism towards the Jewish world, but I also believe in unity of all of us together. But I also think that like, huh?
Well, no, I'm saying forget that for a second because in the end of the day, בסופו של דבר, right? The Tanakh is different than the Gemara and the Torah. The Tanakh is like strictly our history. It's what we went through. It's our wars, our
Right.
battles. So I'm saying, I'm not saying this as is like, I'm just saying, in the end of the day, in the Tanakh, some of the greatest years of our kingdom, here we had Malchut, we had Israel and Malchut Yehuda. Just the way it was. In the same area, still, basically.
Yeah. There is a solution, man. There is a solution. It's just I think the status quo we're not going to get there with the status quo. We got to change. But no one's ready for it. The Jewish world's not ready for this conversation. Israelis are definitely not ready for this conversation.
No, you
Palestinians
have
will.
to fucking have it. You have to fucking have it. Like honestly, like it's just gonna keep on happening and happening and happening. Like honestly, like for me, there's three solutions. There's actually four solutions, right?
Is there a final solution?
No, yeah, there's five solutions. I don't want to take anything off the table. No kidding. Like okay, it's either now that I'm thinking it, we just came up with the sixth solution. Um, but and then they like yeah, it's either forever occupation, ethnic cleansing, um, bring them into one country, two-state solution, um, and then divide it, Malchut Yisrael, Malchut Yehuda, and let the settlers rule the Arabs. I think that'd be nice.
No, man, we need to make peace with our neighbors. It's time, and I think our neighbors are now more open to it than ever because we're like back in '67 where we kicked ass really hard, and we're about to kick even more ass. Inshallah, hopefully, we're gonna keep kicking ass now when Trump gets into power, and we're really sending a strong message to the Arab world. We have them on their knees now, and I think that's a really good position for us to start making peace, proper peace by saying you have peace with us because we're stronger than you, and that's the peace that you get
They're
with
never
Am
gonna.
Yisrael.
But whether you have if you don't have a solution of some sort, they're never gonna stop fighting you. I don't know if you've realized. Like the one thing I'll say about Palestinians, they're very fucking resilient people. It doesn't matter. You could cut off like a Palestine. If you get into a fight with a Palestinian, like I used to work in a bar in Jerusalem. If you fight with a Palestinian with an Arab, okay, it doesn't matter. Like you could fucking hit him, and he'll fucking get back up. He doesn't care. He doesn't fucking care. They'll keep on fighting you forever. It doesn't matter unless you have like some sort of solution where it's like this is like the rule because like having a military occupation area BC the and then having the whole East Jerusalem is one thing. It's just weird. It's wrong. It's like a system. You have to have
I,
something that this is what it is, and this is like you're an Israeli citizen. You're not an Israeli citizen. Blah blah blah. There's no seven different areas. Kilo, it's enough. It's fucking weird. Like
I agree. The status quo is not working. We need to change it. I have a way I believe it will work. It's based on nothing but experience traveling and some knowledge I've read on the internet. I didn't go to the US. I didn't go to college. I didn't I'm not well versed in policy or politics.
that's why you're
I
not
just think
transgender.
I am transgender, thank you very much. But and none of it is rooted in anything that an educated person would look at and be like, I can trust that guy's opinion. But fuck it, I have one. I'm entitled to my opinion. I think my opinion is a
It's
new
original.
idea. It's original, and I think it has a lot of pitfalls. You can critique the shit out of it, but the one thing I know is, man, the old system that we're doing right now is not working. And the old fucks in government all across the board, around the whole world. Abu Mazen and the US administration and the Israel administration, they're not getting us to peace. I promise you that. They are not going to get us to peace. It's up to us, the people, to actually make that change. We got to start thinking a little bit outside of the box.
No, so the one thing also that me and Anas agree is I think Trump's gonna bring peace to the region.
I don't think he can bring peace to the region, but he's definitely going to usher in a new age to the region. Peace, dude, our region has never seen peace ever in its history. There's never been a peaceful time in this region. It's not possible, but it's possible for us to have something that closely resembles it.
No, I mean I don't know. I think it because I think like the way like Trump like negotiates, the way he cuts deals is the way like the way he would make the deal is that both sides get something. You know what I mean?
My fear with Trump is that he will push for a two-state solution, unfortunately.
No, he actually said on record, he's like, I don't care if it's a two-state solution, one-state solution, no solution. Also, to be honest, at the end of the day, like I don't like I think that a two-state solution, maybe like long term, is somewhat plausible. Like, first of all, like, I would not let them have any sort of military like the first like 10, 15 years, re-education program, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like it would be something that I would be somewhat open to. I think it's actually better than bringing them all into one nation.
The
Um,
cute take a two-state solution. I mean, It's you go do a two-state solution, you're at war with them in a couple of years again, for sure. Like no doubt, they have a proven track record, you know. And it's like I said before, it's like giving them a state is doing us a disservice because you see your friend that keeps fucking up, and you're like, all right, here you go. Here's the keys to the car, buddy. Go drive off.
So also,
Like,
so
go
if you
drive.
so if two-state solution is not an option, then I would say pushing them into Jordan is an option. Like it's either one or the other.
It's an
You have to be
option. I just don't.
practical.
It's an option. I just don't think it's realistic.
I'm not. You said you would protest. I'm not. I'd be fine. Like, listen, if you're just like, listen, like, in the end of the day, it's like a divorce. Someone's gonna take the house. It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know, but
what's
I don't
up?
think you'd ever convince
Ross, you know,
Jordanians.
you know Tom? Tom, the traveling clap from Instagram. What? The traveling clap from Instagram. Oh, yeah, where are you?
Hey, how
You
you
know,
doing?
the Urban Warrior
Urban Warrior on Instagram?
on Instagram. Yeah.
Not familiar with the page. No.
Come on. He walks over to people. He's like, "You fucking jihadist cunt."
Do you know who this person is who hates you?
Who? Which boy hates me? Oh, him? He's obsessed with me.
Do you know who it is?
I have no clue.
So he wants to meet. So I just called him out on Instagram because all day he's been hawking me.
He wants to meet?
I said, meet me at Union Square 6 o'clock. He's like, did you bring your bring your chimpanzee friend?
The
I
chimpanzee.
wasn't sure who it was. It was like,
Oh
yes.
shit! Look at this guy. He's posting on me.
Do you know who it is?
Who is
That
this?
bike?
Uh, Zionism,
Claim-
Zionish M. If you really want to understand the deranged Zionist viewpoint, then head over to Yoni to Pretzel and get the first row seat to the Lucy. I put $1,000 down proving this guy has zero Judean DNA and just another fake Russian forged document occupier of the faith and the land. I don't know why I'm giving him
Fucking
a fucking shout out.
white colonizer. God damn it, you white colonizer.
He fucking white collar. No, he claims to be Jewish. I bet he's not Jewish. He's a fucking Muslim. Whatever, dude. I didn't turn up, but it was a fucking honor. It was a fucking pleasure conversation. I had a really good time.
You too, bro. We'll do it again, hopefully in person.
Hopefully in person. Yeah, I'm in Israel. Hopefully Pesach. I'm saving. I'm saving up because it's like $1 million a ticket now. But I'm hopefully coming to visit my family over Pesach. I would love to do like a travel vlog with you or something, or just travel in general. We don't even have to film it. But I'm saying we could still do. It is what we do at the end of the day. So it would be fucking cool, bro. I like your shit a
Yes,
lot.
man.
I actually
Definitely hit
started
me up.
following you.
Fingers crossed. I'm gonna come and shake some feathers when I'm in America soon. I'm hoping. I'm trying to make it happen.
When are you coming to America?
I mean, everything's in the works right now because we got to have a million galas and a million fundraisers to make everything happen. But
He hates the gala. He fucking. I don't know if you saw he posted a video this morning. He starts like, "Yo, fuck the galas."
that's not what I said.
It was something like that. No, whatever.
I said maybe there's too many galas.
You said there's too many.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm planning on coming to America hopefully and starting that re-education program for Jews in the West and for Arabs in the West. That's the idea. I want to come in and really educate people from all sides about specifically Mizrahi Jews. I think everybody needs to know our story a little bit more, my family's story, and
You
hopefully
know,
make
Mizrahi Jews don't come to counter protest.
because
They
like I think they feel a little dissuaded from what's going on.
care. They look shurim, okay, as long as they fucking have money for their Ferraris here in Brooklyn and shit. לא אכפת להם. לא שלא אכפת להם, אבל like honestly, like like Mizrahi Jews are like, yeah, we're tough, we're this. Yeah, but like at the end of the day, they don't come out in numbers. Bukharians a little bit more. אבל
Bukhari,
no,
fuck with them big time. I like them a lot. They don't take
Bukharians.
shit. Bukharians are cool.
Yeah, they'll give you a fucking great deal on a Rolex.
Oh yeah, isn't there like there's tracks, right? He's a Bukharian Jew, no?
Yeah, all the Diamond District is Bukharians. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when I lived in New York, I was like not involved in Jewish life at all. I was like completely I was in a different phase in my life, so I don't really know much of Jewish New York at all.
You're like a goy back then, huh?
I wasn't a goy. I actually lived. I lived in Williamsburg in the Satmar neighborhood.
Shut up.
Like I lived on Kent Avenue, like on in a Satmar building. But they don't see me as a Jew, so I was ignored by them for the year I lived there. Like they see me as an animal. I think a lot of them. So I
You got
didn't like.
you got matzo ball soup though, at least.
No, I would say Shabbat Shalom to people and they would run away from me. I never felt like more disconnected from the Jewish community till I lived in that neighborhood. It was really sad. It
I
wasn't a good
actually
experience.
I actually had a really good experience there. I was filming. Speaking of like one of the few jobs I got getting paid to do this kind of work was during the campaign. I got a little money from the RJC, the Republican Jewish Council, because I was like one of the only people like from like the Israel influencers like really like pushing Trump hard. Um, and I was filming. Trump was supposed to speak in Williamsburg. He ended up didn't come, but I ended up afterwards. I met this like Satmar ex Satmar girl, and we just had like a long conversation about like what like what they teach like in Satmar schools, like how they hate Zion, like they teach them like from a young age to hate Zionism. But then she was like telling me how like the younger Satmars like they're really waking up, which is cool to say. And then I tried to get her number because I was like, yo, I gotta fucking bang an ex Satmar girl, but it didn't work out.
All right, Yoni, I gotta go to sleep, bro.
Peace out, dude. Oh,
See you, bro.
lastly, I worked at a bar in Jerusalem once, and I got with a girl from Bet Hanina. I just wanted to put that out there. I if any Arabs are watching, like yo, I fucking enjoyed it. So
He's got street cred.
okay, no, I anytime my Nas calls me, I always bring that up to him. I'm like, yo, bro, I just want to let you know I was in Bet Sanina.
Oh my god.